On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Heath Oakes is a millennial mogul whose ignorance on fire led him to fail his way to success. Jenny Anchondo is an Emmy award-winning journalist whose sharp eye and biting wit have led to her storied career in television. Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only an odd couple with a dash of perfect opposite can. So kick back, relax, and join the conversation. This is Second Shot with your hosts, Heath and Jenny.
So, I got something that you all will find probably pretty funny, and it's for those who don't know, Brighton is our daughter. I had, a couple weeks back, had my big kickoff meeting with everybody from across my territory and stuff, and, the meeting typically starts at 9:30 in the morning. We go to about 3:30, and then I had a break there, but then we do a manager's meeting and fun night and dinner with the managers that night. So it was Jenny. It wasn't very far from actually where we live, so Jenny was going to, and I wouldn't be able to see Brighton all day long at all. So
because it was early until late. So and
Yeah.
he's always saying, "Hey, bring her by," but usually it's during nap time or I have something else going on or whatever. So I said, "Hey, this is actually a perfect time if you guys have a slot."
Yeah, there's a lot of people across territory who like to meet her and stuff. So I said, you bring her up there right there at the end, about 3:30 is when we should be wrapping up.
Yeah.
And so also around 3:15 or so is where I've got a I always put together a closing like speech to try to hopefully be something that can inspire and
Really
people.
like solidify their goals for the year.
And just
get them
try to really
inspired,
get them wanting to go, right? So I'm like have that kind of motivational kind of closing speech, right?
Yeah.
And I'm dead in the middle of it, and I'm going at it, closing out them, and all of a sudden I hear, Dada. Dada?
Hi,
Dada?
Dad.
Hi, Dada.
Hi,
like,
Dada.
because it's quiet in the room besides me,
Dada.
right? And it's a room of 200 people or so. So, but it's quiet besides me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear, Dada? Hi, Dada. 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 And then I hear screaming because Jenny's walking out, like, oh my God, walking out, and she's, and I was
Well, because
like, I
felt
can't
like
look at her.
she might have knocked you off your path a little because you guys, he was
Well, yeah,
really
her
coming
Dada.
right to
How
the,
could she not?
right to the the peak of the speech.
Yeah.
Two worlds colliding.
It was
The
just
cutest thing
so
in the world to hear.
sure.
Dada, Dada, hi, Dada.
Hi, Dada.
She had literally zero clue that there was any, it was just like,
She didn't know
I see
anybody
Dada.
else was in the
I see
room.
Dada, I could care less.
Dad's on stage.
It was
I love
the
it.
cutest thing in the world. And she got to hang out with everybody, and then that night we had,
man.
we did casino night and stuff, and we do a cool deal where we with the manager stuff, we had about, $7,000-8,000 worth of electronic prizes, 16, 17 of them, and everybody got like chips to play casino night for 2 hours. And then they have to turn in their chips, and the top 17 people who won the most, fake money chips got to pick of the 17. So whoever won the most got to pick the first of the 17 prizes, and then the second stuff. And it was really cool.
Yeah,
TVs,
big TVs and
Beats by Dre, drones,
Apple
Xboxes,
Watch.
PlayStation, everything. It was cool. It was cool.
Man.
Cool.
good prizes.
Yeah.
Good prizes.
I know.
I just thought to let everybody know that. I thought that was funny.
Every year I talk about buying a PlayStation. I need to figure out how to get in on this casino night thing.
Right.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah,
what am I
exactly.
doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
what we got
gosh.
up first, Zach?
Speaking of money, this is an unconventional way. A Kansas woman is making $80 per hour as a professional cuddler. A Kansas woman's job is to cuddle, which is part of a growing movement of touch-based therapy.
Hold on.
Please.
Reread that.
Yeah.
Are you being serious?
A Kansas woman's job is to cuddle, not in general, just this one woman, which is part of a growing movement of touch-based therapy. Robin Marie said she wants to bring people closer together and to become a professional cuddler. It means her job is to comfort, nurture, and soothe. Marie said the experience is strictly platonic. I really believe in the... Heath, come on now. This is a real job.
I'm trying.
I really believe, she said, I really believe in the power of touch and how it can really heal people. It can be as simple as me sitting on the couch, just sitting next to someone. It can be holding hands with someone, all the way to where we're laying horizontal on a bed and we're spooning. Marie has been involved in the therapeutic touch for more than a year, Matt, and is certified through a website called Cuddlers. She has 30 clients ranging in age from 20 to 75 years old, $80 an hour. 30 clients, that adds up, guys. And we have a quote from a client. Amy Thompson, a new client, said she believed the contact can help with understanding consent. There's this huge consent crisis where people don't know I'm trying, man, Heath. There's this huge consent crisis where people don't know how to explicitly communicate with each other. Being in a safe space, like with what Robin does, could be extraordinarily beneficial to myself and anyone. Amy's 27. It's right around my age. Professional cuddler, $80 an hour, Kansas. Heath, what do you got?
Always a way to make money in this world.
Oh, that is true.
This. Everybody that want to talk about, I can't find work, can't find a job. I mean, this is the prototypical choice of there's a way to make money somehow, some way. And there are a lot of ways that I can go down this and make a lot of jokes and all of those good things.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is because I can go the childish route, turn it over to Jenny's second shot, which is a little less childish than mine.
Yeah, so my second shot on this, I know, you guys, I know.
No, you're the one person that didn't laugh during that. You did great.
Well, she cuddles her rock every night.
Because
the rock just doesn't get $80
you guys
an hour.
Missed it on the last episode. You'll have to go back to episode 101 where I talked about the rock.
Yes.
Okay, I think my second shot on this is there is a need for human touch. We're not kind enough to each other. I don't think we've given each other enough hugs. I mean, when we're looking for education for our daughter, we've been touring preschools, I'm going for the school that embraces her with warmth. Now, this school is not the one necessarily that they're saying, oh, well, all of our preschoolers end up, at Harvard. But feeling loved and feeling embraced is something really special and unique, and it's shown by this woman having a business where people want to cuddle. So I think whether it's in a relationship, you know what I mean, like a marriage or a relationship, or even a friend, where something happens, I think that we got into this weird space where, especially, at work, and I understand the reasons for that, where certain types of touch are not allowed. If someone is your friend, it's okay, if they're okay with it, to love on them. Even if it's a handshake in a professional situation, if it's a friend you've known for 10 years, to give them a hug. I mean, I think that those things are lost in the way that humans need affection and attention. That's what these people are paying for, is attention and someone feeling like someone's close to them.
And when you say, because one of the things you said there was connection, I think it's connection more than anything, and that, some people's, touch to them is not connection, right? And
true.
And so,
yes, not everybody likes that.
I think it's more so of connecting with people is a big need, and I think it's so important. If you're running a team of people, or your spouse is super important, you need to do those tests, a personality type test. Like the husband wife, the classic one is. The love languages, right? The love languages, to understand and know that, because it's super critical. I mean, Jenny and I just recently with stuff is that sometimes I'm one that my kind of pulling back is pulling back and really like shutting off. It's my it's kind of my recharge almost, right?
Right.
And I thought I was listening to Jenny. She did not feel me listening to her at all, and so she wasn't feeling connected because I was not listening to what she felt it should be. And so what was funny is until she told me that, and I realized that, I went, oh my God, I'm forgetting that. You're right. Like that is where I didn't realize that I was in the wrong. But the reason we were able to correct that so quickly is because we know each other's personalities in those ways very well, to know what each other needs for that connection. If she doesn't listen to me, that's not gonna cut my connection wire. That's just not how I'm wired. Okay, but everybody is differently in that, and I think it's so critically important for you and your spouse to know each other's kind of languages in that area, to make sure you are utilizing them properly. And then your team, I do a 360 leadership with people on my team all the time, probably once a year, where they do this anonymous surveys and stuff on different things. That way it tells me in areas that I'm doing well at or not. And then I also know these IDI tests that tell me their passions, their strengths, and all this stuff. So I know where to lead people at, because connection is critical. Look, if I need connection, I'm definitely never hiring a cuddler. That's far from my connection thing, okay?
But wouldn't you be sad if I needed a connection and I hired a cuddler when you could do that for me? to your point about figuring out what do people need.
For sure.
You know, like
Yes.
what do people need? What do your employees need? What does your spouse need? What does
You
your,
have to
you
know that, and it's different. The connection people get, like she said, sometimes it's not cuddling; it's just sitting there with them. Right? Some people just need to be heard out, but that's what you've got to know. Don't you agree that's the thing is whether it's your spouse or your employees and stuff, you can't go off of what you think triggers you, and that works for everybody because it doesn't.
Now, what's that test?
Where there's an IDI test, IDI, the love languages test, you know, and then there's that that ENFJ.
ENFJ.
What's
Wait,
that?
we're both that.
Yeah. And what's that called? Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs is a good one to do. So Myers-Briggs, an IDI test.
And I think you can do those for free online often or for very low cost. We did Myers-Briggs with my second ever co-anchor.
Yeah.
We had come from two different positions. He had been a sports director at the same TV station for years. He had a ton of experience. I only had about 4 years of experience and had only done hard news. And so we did that to kind of figure out how we can be, because we were going to be on the anchor desk as opposed to out, you know, him doing sports media and reporting.
Yeah.
So we did that to kind of figure out how we can have, you know, get along and have natural chemistry, and because it's a work relationship.
And the love language is one of the most basic, really important kind of starting points, I think, for a couple, because it does tell what, you know, it's basically saying what is the trigger for connection for your spouse, you know, because some may be listening, some may be giving gifts, some may be receiving, you know, there's all kinds of things, and it's a really great way because it's so important to know what that is.
Real quick, you lost me in the abbreviations. These are relationship tests. Personality tests for relationships?
Ian, the Myers-Briggs is more of a personality test to figure
compatibility.
out. Yes.
Okay.
So like people that you work with often, or a partner or something like that. Heath and I happen to have the same one, which is kind of weird. And I would almost like to retake it now because it's been years since I've done it.
So why don't we do this for the next episode?
Yeah.
Zach and Matt, y'all go and take the Myers-Briggs.
Oh, no.
For you, since you two work a lot with each other, take it.
Okay.
Jenny and I will retake the Myers-Briggs. And on the next podcast, on that third segment, let's talk about because I honestly believe if you understand your colleagues or your spouse better, your relationships with all of them will get better, because it's how you come at things. You're going uphill with no help at all, unless you know that route to go. So I think that would be really cool. Y'all up for that?
I'm into that. Little homework. My parents are school teachers. I'll take a test. I'll ace that thing. I'll do it. I'll get 100.
And then maybe we come back and maybe we can see if Zach and Matt can get in the cuddling business with each other or something. And we'll be back in a minute for the second segment of Second Shot.
He makes up words. She translates them. Heath and Jenny host more of Second Shot, coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about, is this the real deal? And go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
All I can think about is, you know, the people that hire for cuddling that are just sorry, I can't go there. I don't. I really want to go childish, Matt. I just want to go funny.
Just move on, babe.
I'm trying.
Move on.
I'm a little surprised by the age bracket there. People are like 25 are doing this.
Yeah,
I'm thinking in your 20s,
like I said,
you
people are lacking human connection.
Yeah.
This is obvious.
I would especially think probably younger people are lacking connection because you're so tied into
social media
communicating with people digitally,
Tinder.
right?
That's true.
Totally, Matt.
That's true.
All right. Well, our second headline for the show, a sports headline, but I think I kind of get this one. This one's in pretty layman's terms, so here we go.
Let's see.
I was definitely asking Heath seconds before this segment started, how do I pronounce this? Dabo Sweeney? That's fine.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo Sweeney. All right. Every February, when the snowpack in Colorado is nearing its highest levels of the season, Dabo Sweeney, takes his staff to Vail. Like the plot of some cheesy 80s movie, they lock in their skis and they hit the slopes. Swinney pays for everything. The vacation is a post-national signing day retreat for coaches and a chance for everyone to decompress, when everyone can relax and recharge the battery. Families of the coaches enjoy the vacation. For many on the staff, it's the highlight of the year. The ski trip's a good example of Dabo's ability to create a specific type of corporate culture within his coaching staff. It's more familial than professional. Dabo's built a football program centered around family for his assistants and fun for his players. It's no coincidence, given the option to leave Clemson's staff for other opportunities, many of Dabo's assistants have chosen to stay. Now compare that to Alabama. Nick Saban cultivates a different type of working environment than his main rival in college football. At Alabama, coaches endure working for Saban. At Clemson, coaches enjoy working for Swinney. So let's not get it twisted. The implication here is that Alabama has a toxic culture for assistants. Implication isn't that Alabama has a toxic culture for assistants. Alabama has a culture of turning assistants into head coaches. But still, maybe Alabama's coach Saban could learn something from Dabo in this instance instead of the other way around. These are the two superpowers in college football, and they have completely different approaches to leadership.
So let me make some things clear about that article and understand this. I'm not a fan of neither one. I literally have no dog.
Either one.
Really?
Whatever. I make it up.
Why did I think you were a Bama fan? That's
No,
weird.
God, no. Hook 'em horns.
I must have gotten
No.
it flipped at some point.
I respect both of what they have achieved, okay? But let's not get things twisted.
Yeah.
Dabo's not on Nick's level yet. Nick Saban has 6 titles, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not. I mean, Dabo's got 2. Dabo's great. Don't get me wrong. But the person who wrote that article was obviously probably a Clemson fan. Okay, there was a very much so swing to it, and I would say I don't believe that most of all of the people who work for Saban, quote unquote, endure working for him, because they all go on to get the best, highest paid head coaching jobs because they were a part of that organization. Okay,
Right.
so it's very you
Little
can't
biased.
really say that. I mean, and
Yeah.
Nick Saban still has a lot more results.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right, it shows.
Now me, if I wanted to go work, but what I know with both of them, I would rather go work for Dabo Swinney.
Okay.
I'm gonna, but you can't discount and act like it's a Alabama's not a a lot of everybody that leaves Alabama, they all say it was a great experience. They learned a lot, and it was all of those good things. Alabama puts more people in the NFL, the whole 9 yards. Now, people that are with Dabo would kill for him. There's a different that is so my really pull of those two versus the keeping head coaches around or not, which I don't think is accurate, is more so that Dabo Swinney is the guy in the locker room at the end doing the newest crazed dance with his players,
Right.
letting loose, having fun, taking his people to Vail and all that. Nick Saban is extremely disciplined. There is no fluff, there is no he is down to business. Do your job, we all win, etc. The reason that works is because of his record. They win. You can't. It's hard to ever discount anything when you win like that, right?
Right.
Dabo's also works for him and for them, right? And it's more so about, I can tell you this though, which leadership style will endure the tough times, I can almost guarantee you would be Dabo Swinney's. Nick Saban, everybody goes through it, and no matter he's not gonna he's not gonna build that connection with people. He's not gonna be a cuddler.
his employees all have professional cuddlers.
Yeah,
They have no human connection.
They don't, not with him at all. Okay, and so I'm definitely, as a leader myself, am more of a Dabo Swinney type of leader. Okay, and I look at it more so to think it's on whichever one you are to make sure that lines up with what you want your brand to be and who you are, your legacy to be, right? Nick Saban is 100% okay with that because you know what he'll tell you? I made a lot of young men, a lot of young boys, men. They all made it to the NFL. They got their shots. He did a lot of good things, and that's what all he cares about. Dabo Swinney is like, I want people to love me. I want to love them. I want them to know that, there's a difference of how it is. So it's just understanding what you want that legacy to be and make sure you're doing the actions that what you say your legacy needs to be.
Yeah, and I think really my second shot on this is something similar to that, in that sometimes we see one leader in one style, and maybe they're even in our industry, and we think that's the way it
That's
has
the
to
only-
be.
yeah.
But it's not the only way it has to be. And that's what I love about this article
Yep.
is that it really distinguishes the two types of leadership, or two of the many types of leadership. And so if you have somebody that you're looking up to in your industry, just make sure that their sort of insight and heart and spirit align with yours if you're going to try to follow that path. Because once you know yourself and what you really believe in, then you're unstoppable in terms of what you can influence and accomplish. But if you're trying to be like, if I'm trying to be the Nick Saban, that's just, people,
not gonna work.
people would be able to tell that that's not me, and they're not going to listen to me. And when I try to come down hard, they're going to run away. He has that type of influence because to his core, that seems to be the person he is. So he also knows his stuff and his work ethic and everything, but that's part of the whole package is him being tough. So if I tried that, my influence would not go very far.
I think what you just made was a perfect point, and I love this.
Well, I think.
I really
Aw.
do. No,
Thanks, babe.
I love this because this is what you're so right. People will go into an industry and see somebody in that industry. You only see what you see, right? And
Yep.
you see that person's super successful in your company or whatever, and they do it this one way, and you think, okay, that's the way I got to do it. But that's not who you are, so you try to do it, and then you figure out why you can't ever be successful. You're correct. This story sets out the perfect thing is that if you need to be you and figure out maybe that person that's most successful, think of the things that they do that you go, you know what, that is me. I can implement some of those important things, but I can't be Saban or I can't be the Dabo, right? Like
You're you.
You're you.
Which is awesome.
And I think this is a great story to say, look, these are total opposites, but yet they're both successful. And they're both being them, and that's why it works so well. They are being them. But I will tell you, at the end of the day, the Nick Saban style versus the Dabo Sweeney style, the hardcore, drill instructor, I'm not here to be your friend, I'm here to just do whatever.
Dictator-esque
That type of thing, okay? That only works in good times. Let me tell you something. If you have a team of people and you're hard-nosed, whatever, and y'all still get your results, that's great. But when things get rocky, those people will not go the extra mile for you, and then it goes downhill. If you're Dabo Sweeney, let me tell you something. When things are rocky, those people ain't bailing off that ship. Those people are grabbing oars, and they are rowing together to keep that thing afloat. And I think that's what the difference of these two leadership styles is, that it's not about that result. It's about when things get rough, which leadership style will endure people the most, and it's the other one. That's my personal opinion. Now, understand, I respect Nick Saban. I respect what he does and how he does. It's almost impossible to have the record. Like, I believe there was something the other day, it's like 8 years in a row of being in the national championship. I mean, like that's, you can't even, like, that's not something to gloss over. It works, okay? I just believe, me personally, I don't want my legacy to be I never made connections with people. That's my personal belief. That's not right or wrong, right? That's just my personal belief. I'm not saying Nick Saban's wrong. Obviously, he wins a lot, right? And he puts a lot of people in the NFL. They put more players in the NFL and get them paid more than anybody else. So, I mean, they win the most. But I like your idea that I love that thought and look of that. A lot of times you look at that one person and think you got to be that one way because that's what you see the success is. This story is a perfect reminder that it is not about that one way. There are other ways, but you got to stay true to you and yourself in the first play. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. But it takes, if you're somebody who knows yourself truly, and you're young in your life, you are so gifted and blessed because it takes people a very long time to figure out. And I really think that when you find out who you are, it's like this whole new gold mine and spark, and it's amazing. The hard thing is getting to that place where you know where you are. So we're all kind of on some spectrum of that journey, I suppose.
And that's what I'd say more than anything else. When you look at this, there are other ways. So if you're trying to make yourself something that you're not because you've only seen that one way of doing it, maybe look at it and go, what are some of the things that I know that are me that person does, and model that, but while keeping the other stuff being true true to who you are. And I promise you, being true to who you are will ultimately win the most in the end. So we'll be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Heath and Jenny still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
I love what you know. We were talking off air, and then Zach asked this question, and I'm like, "Wait, you got to hold. We got to do that in the third
Right.
segment." So, for everybody that knows, in the third segment, we typically will take different listener emails
Questions,
or
reviews.
questions or stuff that's gone on in the Second Shot Facebook group. And I will bring up this one real quick just to go over it really fast, which is Roy Jeffords, who's a good friend of mine who actually
Shout out to Roy.
helped me write the book. He said, if y'all hadn't already planned it, I really want to hear y'all's take on that, the deal that happened at the White House with the
Right.
Big Macs and cheese when Clemson went to visit, and there was
Burger King and Wendy's
and Wendy's and all that
McDonald's.
stuff. Honestly, I don't have a take on it. I don't have a clue about the story really. Y'all told me a little bit, and I guess people are turning it to a political thing of, you know, it's Donald Trump giving them fast food to eat, and some say, well, it's a government shutdown thing and all that. And honestly, Roy, I don't have a clue because I don't know what is behind that. And I think that's a typical story that people don't know the full thing, that maybe Dabo Sweeney and Donald Trump had a joke before the White House deal, something about McDonald's, and that's, you know, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, it's very hard to discuss that headline without getting political, and we don't do that on the show. So, but also shout out to Roy for being such an involved member of the
Roy's
Second
awesome.
Shot
Roy
Second
helped
Shot
write
family.
all the
Roy,
memes.
you rock.
I think people, you know, sometimes we get headlines like this and people write in, and I'm glad we can talk about them on the show. But yeah, I think people think part of the reason we avoid them is because, well, we just don't want to be political on the show. No, it's because you guys like genuinely just don't have time for it. Like, you're busy. You're rocking and rolling, man. You guys are making it
Stuff's
happen.
happening.
Like, who can keep up with those kind of headlines? But
yeah,
regardless.
but I thought that was. I mean, I just thought it was
I
funny.
appreciate
That there
him
was
writing
like a
in.
bunch of fast
Yeah,
food
it
and
was a
stuff.
big
It's
headline.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was a big headline. It was the picture, you know, when there's a imagery like that,
Yeah.
it definitely gets people's attention. So,
So before we get right into what I had been talking about, two things. One, I'd like to formally announce that I have made the clock go on for every segment of this recording session. I know.
someone is
was-
having an awesome start to 2019.
I was so
Nailed it.
excited. I spilled coffee on my Second Shot shirt. So if anybody knows how to get coffee out of a white shirt, secondshotcast@gmail.com. Write us in. Let me know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need the help.
Ooh, gosh.
That being said, yes, what I was asking about, I wanted to know what you guys thought.
Can you shame everybody real quick?
How's
let's
that?
let's
into
shame
writing a
everybody
review?
writing
yeah.
a review on iTunes,
Well, because
Google
we
Play,
know
wherever
we have
need it.
had a massive increase in listens and watches
Yeah.
and subscribers.
Let me take a crack at shaming people. Can I,
Okay.
please?
Oh, yeah,
All
I'd
right,
love
all right,
to
all
see
right,
Zach shaming.
Listen, you goons. All right, we've been doing this show a long time, and it's a lot of fun. But we need some help. All right, if there's anything we need, it's from you guys. So do us a solid. Hit us a rating. Like us. Throw us a. Good God, this whole fell apart. Did I just have a stroke? Hit us with a rating and review. Matt, help me out here.
Like Zach's,
you got it. You
like
got
one
it.
of Zach's most uncomfortable moments in life would be shaming anything
Yeah,
because
he
he's like the
hates it.
nicest
He's
person.
like, don't do
He
that, you guys.
cannot Go there.
What he's trying
But
to
y'all all
say
get
is,
the picture now.
if you
Yeah.
guys like the show, you can go to search Second Shot and wherever you listen to podcasts, Second Shot with Jenny and Heath. And if you think it's 5-star worthy, give it 5 stars. If you have something to say to us, leave it in the comments. The whole point of doing that, it's not to boost our confidence. It actually, what it does is we do this show really as a service because we want to uplift people. We want to motivate people. We want to inspire people. And if we move up in the rankings, then more people are able to see it and learn about it.
Yeah.
Also, share it. Share it.
Yeah, do
Share
that
it with
too.
one person. That's all you have to do. That doubles our audience, right?
Yeah.
If you all share it with one person, somebody who hasn't heard it before, I'm sure there's somebody in your life that hasn't heard it that you think might like it. So just share it once.
There's somebody out there who would listen to our former just past segment on about leadership and be like, oh my God, like that somebody somewhere, this matters.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you'd be surprised. What I was asking about during the break.
Yes, tell us.
I want to know how you feel about this phrase, because I've been hearing this a bit lately, and it's something I ruminate on, and I don't know how to feel about it. The phrase is, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Mm-hmm. All right? There's a lot to run on there. And I on the one hand, I get it. The idea is that you can't be meticulous about everything. If you are, you'll never get anything done, right? Yep. You can't get everything to be perfect always. Sometimes you just have to roll with what you got. But then I listened to a story about our Blue Angel friend from the last episode, John
Foley.
John Foley. And you talk about being like the 0.001%. I'm like, you have to be perfect or real close, and you have to be willing to acknowledge when you're not. Where do we land on this?
I think you always got to look at almost all of those things and understand it's all there's always a dichotomy to deal with in any of these type of scenarios, right? Look, I don't want my doctor, when he's doing open heart surgery on me, to be good. Okay?
Yeah.
I want him to be perfect. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, if you're sitting there miserable in your job, you got a great talent at building furniture, let's just say, and you hate what you do, you really want to sell your furniture and build it full time and all that, but you're just sitting there going, oh, well, it's not quite there. I need to get this done, get that done, Sometimes perfect is your enemy. You're good. Go sell furniture. Go put it out there, and you're going to figure it out and get better as you go, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two dichotomies, and that's what a lot of people will take quotes or sayings and try to think that can apply to everything. Look, I don't want my doctor doing open heart surgery being good. I want him being perfect. Okay, yeah. I don't want I don't want my pilot being good. I want him being perfect. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I think it's more so to understanding in what point they are. Right? Like it's more of that. Look, that person jumping off and quitting their job and being to actually go further in their furniture business, for instance. Them not being perfect is not going to harm them and hurt anybody else, right? It's going to give them a lot. So it's understanding where you are and what you're trying to do to whether or not, a 2-foot miss as a Blue Angel can kill everybody in that deal. That's a little bit different than jumping off of the deep end. So I think it's always to understand the context of and what you're doing to where those things can be.
Yeah, pick your battles. And understand what good means to you versus to other people, right?
Well, and what the scenario is. It's all about that context. I mean, it like you said, it's... if you're doing open heart surgery, you need to be perfect.
Yeah.
But most of us are not. Mm-hmm. Most of us are not flying a Blue Angel fighter jet.
Right.
Or giving open heart surgery. That's just the reality.
You're also not being expected to represent the Navy or save somebody's life. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
So the perfect, there's a lot of people that will use, it's just not there. It's not perfect to come up to be an excuse for their procrastination, really.
Yeah.
And that's what I think.
And for not achieving their goals.
And not achieve. That's what I think it really speaks to the most is the people that really are procrastinating and using, they don't have all their ducks in the row as an excuse. And look, everything I've almost ever done, I've never had my ducks in the row. I just jumped off the pond or jumped off that deck and just went after it, and I figured out all of it along the way.
Right.
But I wasn't performing open heart surgery or flying 800 miles an hour 2 foot from somebody. You know what I mean? That's the difference is I learned more I know how I learn, and my learn is I've got to do it. I got to put my hands in it. I've got to go after it that way because that's just me. And too many people let the perfect be the enemy of good.
Be the enemy of the good. Jenny, what do you think?
I have on my Instagram bio, where you're supposed to put like your job title or what you do well.
Uh-huh.
Retired perfectionist.
Okay.
Because I
You're retired?
I am retired. I used to be very
thanks for
perfect.
telling your husband
News,
first.
Yeah. Hey.
Because I want that to be a reminder to myself of how far I've come with regard to that specific aspect of my life. Because I would say that way, way, way back in the day, like 20 years ago, I was very perfectionistic and just all those qualities that go along with it, which end up being as a person very dull and very boring and very uninspired because perfectionism is in a box. That's not where creativity happens. There's no creativity within the box of perfectionism. And so I think that once I allowed that box to open up, my creativity could flow. My career found more success once I was able to just be myself. But yes, I know, babe, I think I can still tend toward that and tend toward holding off on things until they're right. But But I think there's also I hold myself to a high standard. So holding yourself to a high standard is very different than perfectionism. Perfectionism, I believe, involves comparing yourselves to others, because what's the standard for perfectionism? If it's not you, you must be looking to someone else. And again, we go back to that segment we just talked about and figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
So perfectionism is based on a standard someone else set out that you're trying to push yourself into. So that's the part I'm retired from. I'm retired from trying to be someone
true.
who is not me. So holding myself to the highest standard is something that I will maintain. But this goes along lines, and moms and dads will maybe relate to this as well. I think you think, oh, I'll just kind of let this whole parenting thing happen and see what flows. And you get into it and you realize the decisions you make are very important. So there's a difference between holding yourself to a high standard and thinking you have to be a perfect parent. Because again, just hear it again. Perfectionism is based on someone else's standard and someone else's box. You're their chosen parent. You're the person who gets to raise that child. So whatever you do, hold yourself to a high standard, and then let the perfectionism go, because that's only based on somebody else's parenting style.
So did we answer your question or make it more
I
complicated?
know, sorry.
Yes.
That one quote, I think it's an awesome quote.
Yeah,
I think it's great. I think it's a great quote.
We've talked about it on the show before. I'm one of those people that, like, I want things to be perfect. Like, and if it takes a long time and I gotta stay late or come in early to make it happen, like, I'll do it. Like, I want things to be awesome, and like that. It's difficult for me to find my standard amongst other places, and where I'm working or what project I'm working on, personal and professional. Like, it's challenging, but I find frustration in that quote, because I think I don't get it, and you guys get it.
Maybe
in a way
it's
that
just
I don't.
not your quote to post on your wall. Like, you don't have to Instagram that quote.
Yeah.
You know what?
You can just let it fly down the feed.
You know what a good barometer can be for you on that is?
Yeah.
Is on whatever you're doing, is it really the end of the world if good is out there that you learn how to get better to that perfect? Mm-hmm. Is it going to really do any harm, or can it possibly do that versus, if you put it out there good, could it be like detrimental, right?
Sure.
That could be a good barometer to say, maybe I'm trying to be perfect, maybe I'm letting that be the enemy, so let's just put it out there, right? But, if you're doing open heart surgery, maybe that's one of those things you go, let's not just see if good works.
Yeah. So success is happiness, right?
Yeah.
All that truly matters at the end is how we feel. We can't take any of it with us. It's just how we felt when we were doing it. And if I feel like I put something out that isn't quite what I want, if there's something in that I'm like, nope, that's not right, I don't like that, like, even if other people like it, if I don't feel good about it, what was the point?
But if it never gets out there, then it
You're
never
right.
does
I
anything.
know. Yeah. Like, that's the.
But you're holding yourself to a certain standard too, and that's okay, because now you're doing a double beat down.
Right.
Because you're mad because you didn't release the thing because it wasn't good enough.
Right.
So you can't do a double beat down either.
Right. I gotta think of something like, Da Vinci didn't start by painting the Mona Lisa. You work your way up. You get better over time, and
I guarantee you, if you listen to the first and second and third episode of Second Shot,
Yeah.
that it's 10 times better now than it was then.
Have you gone back and listened? Have you ever?
Oh yeah, I've listened to some before.
Have
It's
you really?
better now.
Oof, yeah.
I mean, it's the flow, the everything is there, right? And the only
Right.
way to get that done was by what? Practice.
It's true.
In 100 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like that newscast I posted a while back. I posted one of my newscasts from my very first TV market in Tri-Cities, Washington.
You posted that?
Yeah, it's funny.
I
You gotta
gotta
see
find
it.
that. That's great.
It's not polished. I'm gonna say that.
But you're humble. Yeah, you're
But
willing to
I
look
was
back
excited
on that
to be.
and-
I was hashtag glad to be there. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I
love
put
it.
my all into it.
Well, and I wanted to just kind of give a just a shout out, kind of acknowledgement here at the end. I believe that a lot of people that have been following the show know we've been building a house now for 2 years, and we just have some plumbing laid now. Like it has been like, seriously, the builder we have said that it is, in 30-something years of doing it, he's never had a project that was as crazy as this one. If we can't even explain the craziness that it's taken because of the weirdest, randomest things come up, right? We finally get all the stuff going and put down, where we finally got all permits done to where they got the forms up and they got the plumbing down. And here's the thing is, it's been 2 years of a nightmare, but the builder we have has been the most awesome person in the world. It's not been his fault. Beyond awesome, he's beyond honest and just trustworthy, just did above and beyond things, and so he's helped make it so much more pleasurable. And also, he knew we were pregnant before our families knew.
Oh, wow.
Because we were about to.
Well, he says that he became a part of our family, really. You know, really. Like,
sure.
we spent so much time with him.
And we literally were, because we were like a couple weeks away from, we thought, pouring ground back then. And before other things came up, and so we had to tell him, hey, we need to redo some things at a nursery here. We were pregnant, you know, and so we got the plumbing down and all that, and then found out Saturday he passed away unexpectedly. And the thing is we got Jenny emceed the Dallas Art Builders Awards this past fall, and he won a bunch of awards. And
his name is Tom Greco, by the way.
Tom
if you're
Greco.
in Dallas, many people know of him. He's very well known for his modern home designs, and
because he's an
and just for
architect and
being
designer, not just builder.
Right.
an overall amazing human. So we wanted to just mention him and talk about him and the impact he had on our lives, and what a blessing that was to be able to work with somebody on our dream and our vision. And just thinking back, like sitting in our living room and talking to Tom and saying, you know, we have some good news. We need to change the plans. You know, we're having a baby, and then his patience through this whole process and dealing with the city of Dallas and things like that. So he was just an amazing part of our family. It's Greco Modern Homes is his company.
Yeah, he was
he
was an amazing light in a world of and he was a light of trust and a light of honesty that not many people have, and you see it at like the awards deal where how so many people had so much respect for him there, and the awards he won, and the goodness talked about him, and it was super unexpected, and you know, praying for him and his family, and everybody else was close to him, and you know, it was a shock to us as well, and you know, but it's another chapter in our journey here as well. But just wanted to really mention, thought it was important because he's somebody who did have an impact on us, and an impact in that world that he did and loved so much, and it was Tom Greco. So, you know, we're gonna miss Tom, and get to see the vision come to light from him all. But you know, I know that everybody's kind of reeling from it, and moving, and really trying to. You know, it's awesome to see the things posted. How many people had a lot of good things to say about him. So, but we'll wrap up this episode on. You know, I was like, how can we do this? Because it's not always the highest note, and we're such a positive.
Tough,
but I believe
that's
good
life.
people
Like,
need to
that's
be
life.
recognized, and he deserved to be recognized. And this happened a couple weeks back now, so I just felt like it was important to him be recognized. So where can they find you, Jenny?
JennyAnchondo.com, Jenny Anchondo TV, and on Instagram, Jenny Anchondo, and I have posted a tribute to Tom there on my page too.
Oh, at Apple Zackintosh on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/group/Second Shot. Join the conversation. Like, rate, review, share the show. Get involved. Thanks a lot, gang.
Matt Stoker1 on Instagram. You can find me hanging out in the Facebook group as well. So give me a shout out.
Ed Heathos at Ignorance on Fire, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We also got a Second Shot Instagram set up as well. And until next time, we'll see you guys. I love y'all. Bye.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.